I believe we have to go live here as well. So I'll pop it there. It says now we're live. I don't know. Are we? Everybody in the chat, let us know if you actually can see us, if you can hear us. We're using a new software, and because before we used Google Hangouts for our streaming, and
Google Hangouts went away.
yeah, it went away. It's officially gone. So please let me know in the chat if you can see us, if you can hear us. What's up? Okay, cool. So we're here. So, and it's like, it's kind of a weird thing where it's like with
weird.
this software, I have to hit go live, but then I have to go over to the YouTube thing and hit go live. And I'm not exactly sure like of the timing. I don't know if we're just sitting there like this forever. And then earlier I did like a test video. So I scheduled it, and I scheduled it to be private so it wouldn't actually air.
That it didn't work.
And then
it was not private.
Well, and so then I went and I'm like looking at stuff, and I'm just like basically sitting here staring in silence. And then all of a sudden I see the chat starts going. People are like, "We see you. What's going on? Hi."
Good thing you had clothes on.
Everybody said it looks and sounds great. Yeah. So, I mean, the software, it actually has a lot of features to it that.
Can we tell how many people are watching live? Like the whole view, by the way, guys, looks entirely different for us. We used to be able to see how many people were watching live and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
and
we
now
still can. It's right
all
there. See,
kinda...
it says 42 viewers showing there.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why this here, but maybe I can refresh this little thing here and it'll help. I don't know. This is messing up.
And we used to look at ourselves and it was a reflection, if you could see the, the screen, and now it's like reversed the way that you guys see it. So it's...
Yeah, my little test video was probably, it was a lot of me like this. Probably looking like really really angry.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, so yeah, so we're trying out this new software. So at least we have you guys here. We'll see if it actually
Valerie says she saw your test and all your funny faces.
Yeah, we can actually we can see who's, let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and make this.
Yeah, we usually get up to just under 200 live on Sunday watching. So I'm sure that we'll get close to that as people start seeing the notifications and filter in.
Yeah, so we can see who's there.
Plenty of people watch us that do not participate in the Facebook group, so don't see the notifications that way.
Yeah, and plus I had to shut down the stream I had up before and then put in a new one. So hopefully everyone's gonna find us here. But yeah, and honestly, as far as I know, this software doesn't even like, it's not exactly the best, or I don't think there's really a great way to have like a guest on. And so I gotta figure that out too. Because basically
we're doing guests coming soon.
I know, but basically Google like owns YouTube, Google and all that stuff, and Google Hangouts. And so they got rid of Google Hangouts, but that was like the simplest way, like just to go straight from YouTube and go into a live thing. Now it's like, before they always had, you could have other software if you wanted to. But now it just seems like all the software is fairly complicated. And of course, I had completely forgotten about this change. So then today I'm like going, gonna go schedule my stuff. And that was no longer an option. And I was like, no. So literally it was up until like a half an hour ago. No. So I had like messaged Casey, and I called him, and he
had the audacity to be busy.
Yeah, well, he has a life. And then I just heard back from him like 10 minutes before the show, and he's like, "Oh, this is the software that I use," and it happened to be the exact same software I downloaded, and luckily had figured out. But anyway, yeah, Valerie, clearly we have everything under control. It sure seems like it at the moment, but we'll see.
I don't think we ever have anything under control, but hey, we're faking it well, so I guess that's half the battle, right?
Pretty much. Yeah, so anyway, so we're going to try to do our regular show here. We're going to see how it works with sharing the screen and whatnot. I will say with this new software, we got kind of a cool thing that we get to do with sharing our screen that I'm excited about.
Yeah. Well, before we do that, I might get yelled at for doing this, but I think maybe it's time to tell people what we're going to do for our new show that's going to be coming up.
You're going to impromptu say that right now without even, we haven't even talked about it yet. She's so rude, you guys.
We're not going to announce who the first guest will be, but we can announce.
Okay, so we had talked about, we were going to be bringing back No Pants Friday in a slightly different format. And so first of all, No Pants Friday, not going to happen weekly. It'll start out happening on a monthly basis. Depending on how it goes, we might make it like an every other week kind of thing. But we'll really have to see. And obviously now I got to figure out what software is going to be the best for having guests on. because it is going to be about having guests. So basically, it's going to be a No Pants Friday after dark. It's always going to be at nighttime. And we're going to have a different guest or guests on every episode. And it's going to be kind of like, like No Pants Friday, the whole concept of that was it was super casual. We would be like, ask us anything. It doesn't have to necessarily be about business. You can ask
Mm-hmm.
personal questions. So we're kind of taking that idea, but we're making it a show where we have guests on. So we'll have guests that will be people who are part of the reseller community.
It could be
Um,
other YouTubers, it could be other resellers, it could just
mm,
be other people in general that, not that that's reinventing the wheel. A lot of YouTubers have guests and do every show with a guest. But we're just going to do our occasional once a month, maybe twice a month after dark show, and we're going to be a little bit more irreverent about it, I
the
think.
the idea is that we're not having guests on to interview them specifically to learn about their world of reselling. It's going to be more like we're going to take people that you may already know, maybe you know them pretty well because you see them on YouTube or you follow them on Instagram, or maybe it's somebody you've never seen before. And we're going to get to learn a different side of them. So we're going to be asking them questions that have nothing to do with reselling. And we might
Hmm.
do some silly games and make it really fun. And hopefully, especially people maybe you only ever see them teaching and being super serious about whatever they're sharing when it comes to reselling and online selling, and you'll get to see a different side of them because we'll try to bring the silly out because you guys all know what happens when we do No Pants Friday after dark edition. Things get super crazy.
Hmm.
Things get pretty silly. So it's still kind of in the process of being figured out. And again, like I said, the streaming software, we're gonna have to figure out what we want to use for having guests
Yeah,
on.
and
But
then if people are home, they
yeah.
can join us and have a cocktail or something. That's fine.
Oh yeah, you can totally booze it up.
They're like people like, can I have wine? Of course you can.
I'll be having a beer, that's for sure. But
And I
we
just think
yeah.
it'll be kind of fun. And I keep using this example if I talk about it, and Katy kind of looks at me funny. But if anybody ever used to watch the show Inside the Actors Studio
Hmm.
with James What's His Face on the Bravo channel, he used to ask all of his people at the end of a show. He would ask all of his people the same 5 questions, and they all knew what they were coming because it was the same questions to the same guests every time. He would ask these actors these same questions, and I love that idea. I love the
Hmm.
idea of having, uh, you know, 3 to 5 set questions that we ask our
Yeah.
guests, no matter what, that have nothing to do with reselling necessarily.
Yeah. Or I mean, we're that's still in the works because we also want to have surprise questions because it's all about getting really interesting answers. And a lot of times when it's off the cuff and you don't have time to think about it, that's when you get some really interesting stories. Because when you watch us, especially when we've done like the our regular No Pants Friday show when we used to do that, we would
See,
encourage.
lots of other people love that show. Maybe
Yeah,
you need to watch
I'm
it.
not saying I don't like the show. I'm not saying that at all.
She
But
doesn't like the idea.
no,
That's
I
my
don't like.
idea.
No, it's not. Okay. It has nothing to do with it being your idea. I just don't necessarily want to be locked into the same questions every single week, even just a few. But we will talk about that. The point is, when we have done our No Pants Friday show in the past and we encourage personal questions, people would ask us personal questions, and a lot of times it would prompt some, us telling stories or talking about things that we never would have thought we would necessarily talk about publicly.
Hmm.
And that's kind of what we're hoping to get out of the show, to have it be somewhat silly, but hopefully we will get into serious conversations too. And I would love to be able to hear stuff about other people within our community, things that you don't get from your normal, like what do you sell? What's your favorite thing to sell? What's the most exciting thing you've ever sold? Blah blah blah. And it's like, you get that a lot from just regular conversations with resellers, or anytime you
Hmm.
watch a show where they do an interview with another reseller, you're always going to kind of get that same stuff. And it's like, you know what? I want something different. I want
A
to get
little
to
bit
know people
different.
better.
Yeah.
Um,
I think because, a lot of people say that they know us. They do because we're like kind of in your face and verbal diarrhea all week long
Ew,
every time we're
gross.
every time we're talking. So, what you see is what you get. This is who
Uh,
we are. And I think that not every reseller or every person that is on YouTube is necessarily like that. Some people a little more reserved and they have their own way of being and their own way of talking and the type of things they talk about. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I like the idea of delving a little deeper into people's personalities and maybe getting to see who the people are a little bit more.
yeah,
And it's gonna be
absolutely.
fun.
Absolutely. All right. So, do you want to go ahead and get into our show?
Yeah.
So this is our Sunday Live Haul show. So like normal, we're going to go over our sales numbers for the previous week, and we consider the week to be last Sunday through yesterday, Saturday. So we want the last full 7 days of our statistics or data. And so we're going to cover that, and we'll do a little share screen with our new fancy software that I'm using any of the capabilities for.
Yeah, so if we're a little slow.
Yeah, sorry. So we're going to go do our numbers. Then we will show some sales highlights for the last week, and then we will go into our haul because we did do a little sourcing this last week.
We did. Yay! Finally sourced.
Yay! All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let's see. I'm going to go into full screen mode here. Full screen mode, or wait, what's the read mode? Actually, that works better. Okay. So check this out, guys. Are you guys ready for this? Are you guys ready for this? Whoa! What's happening right now? Yeah, you guys, I'm sure you've seen a million other YouTubers do videos where they're like tiny down in the corner, but I'm pretty excited that
You're
we're
very
doing
excited?
it. Yeah, I'm very excited about it. Anyway, all right, here's my horrible
So
numbers for the last
when
week.
we're sharing the screen, I can't pick my nose.
Well, I mean, you can. It's just that everybody's going to be looking at you. But no, I always feel bad because it's like every once in a while, like somebody will do like a super chat or something like that while we're sharing the screen. And I'm like, I gotta wait till later to be able to do the super chat song or whatever,
Gotcha.
do anything silly. But now it's like little tiny me is down here, and
And you could
I
do
can
a
do
little
whatever.
tiny super chat maybe if you
Yeah.
needed to.
Yeah. So anyway, so my sales for this last week, I've been talking about how from between going to camp and then doing eBay Open and just being super, super busy. I have really over the last, I'd say 3 weeks or so, not gotten a whole lot of work done. And I kept saying it's going to catch up with me. It's going to catch up with me. Well, guess what, guys? It's catching up. So this is my week, this last week ending yesterday. I have 21 eBay outgoing orders, 14 Etsy.
That's a lot though. 14 Etsy's a lot.
Yeah, Etsy I actually did pretty well. So you'll notice that like if I was only selling on eBay right now, I'd be feeling the hurt right now because I'm under $1,000 in gross sales for the week for eBay. And that's super low for me. That just doesn't really normally happen. But luckily I've got my Etsy store too. And Etsy I did $701.35. So my total gross is $1,507.40. My shipping costs $164.98. Promotion fees, that's between eBay and Etsy, puts me at $90.34. And you see my final value fees and Etsy fees right there. So total cost $415.17. And then my cost of goods, $175. So that puts my total net sales after costs down below $1,000, which I'm going to tell you right now hurts a little bit. $917.
Little owie.
Little Owly, $917.23. And then the other thing is, I generally like to keep my ASP above 50, if at all possible. I gotta tell you, I did not have a lot of awesome sales this week. A lot of the stuff was smaller dollar amounts. So my gross average sale price, $43.07, and my net, ouch,
yeah, the net's
$26.21.
owie.
I know, yeah. Lorna, definitely. At least I have Etsy because really, without Etsy, I would be like really hurting right now. So let's go ahead and look at Vikki's because Vikki's gonna be like, whatever. Look at all I sold, $1 million, just like that.
Just like that. I made $1 million.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, if you look, actually, my sales they're good. This is decent. This is my average. This is where I like to stay and where I like to be. But the number of sales that went out is kind of small too. So I had 33 on eBay, 5 on Etsy for a total of 38. 2,300 and change on eBay, $213 on Etsy for a total of $2,517 for the week in gross
Poor little
sales.
Etsy.
So this is kind of my average for the week. Sometimes a little bit better, sometimes a little bit worse. Last week was a little higher. It was about $500 higher, but I did have one big consignment item last week.
Yeah.
So my shipping was $260. Again, as we know, I sell a lot of hard goods. So I did have some pretty heavy, significant shipping fees. $51 in promotion fees, promoted listing fees, final value fees on eBay, $295. Etsy fees and total costs of $625 total. My cost of goods was relatively low.
Yeah.
So my net sales is right about where I want it to be. I always want to be around 1,700 to 2,000 in net sales. That makes me happy. And my gross average sale price was high as well this week for $66 and change, and my net was real good. So I'm pretty happy with the numbers this week.
Not too shabby. All right, we're back. Look at us. We're big again. We shrunk down and now we're big. Anyways, yeah, so those are our sales for the last week. So pretty rough. But the last few days I've been able to get kind of back into my routine. We did our sourcing on Thursday. I did all my clothing prep.
Mhm.
And then I went ahead and did photos yesterday, and today I'm going to be able to do some
I did
listings. So
nothing yesterday.
yeah, you did nothing.
We went to brunch with some friends. There were like 11 of us. It was a really fun brunch
It's an
with
awesome brunch.
friends. It was really fun. And they happened to have a DJ that was spinning music, and it was bottomless mimosas, brunch, and there was bingo, and the bingo was music bingo. So the guy would spin like 20 seconds of a song, and you had these little
Is that what
dollars
the
in
kids
there.
call it? Did they call it spinning? Or is that
Yes,
back in the 90s?
that might be back in the 90s, maybe the 80s even.
I think it was all digital, so I'm pretty sure
So he wasn't
it
really
wasn't spinning
spinning.
anything. But it's like it was a new place. So first of all, there wasn't we were 75% of the people there, and we were a group of 11 people, so
A
that we had
loud group of 11.
which I'm like, I'm sure they're happy that we were there because we probably made up like a large portion of their tips and money and everything for the
Hmm.
day, or for at least for the morning. But we went in and it's
Oh,
like we had this
the day.
big.
You can say the day. We were there for 4 hours. It was a 4 hour
We
brunch.
left it like we left after 3, so I'm sure that they stayed open till nighttime.
Uh,
But we had like this big long table, and they had really good brunch, and it was $20 for bottomless mimosas, and then your meal, and then uh, and then the music bingo was really fun
there
because it was
was.
like a really good. I thought he did a really good job of like a good mix of like oldies and like newer stuff, and there was like hip hop and country and punk and ska. It was like a really good
He really
mixture.
it was across all
Like I
genres,
feel like
and
anybody would have been excited because there were like a few bands where I was like, "What? He's playing that? That's awesome!"
there were like 3 or 4 decades of music involved, maybe more. And yeah, it was a wide variety. It was a lot of fun. It was a cool idea. We'll definitely go back. And the bottomless mimosas were nice. And I don't drink a lot, but when I do, I really love champagne, and I had a lot.
Well, what's funny is that she doesn't drink a lot, and she means it. Like we'll go out and she'll get real crazy, and she'll like have like two, and then
Woo!
and yeah, and that's about it. She seriously had like 5 or 6 mimosas
I had
yesterday,
6.
and came home and immediately went to sleep. I took a nap, and then she was fine. But it was pretty funny because that seriously is like the most I've ever seen her drink. So Enrique wants to know, do you think the difference in Etsy sales is because of the items you sell or because of the way it's promoted between each other? So there's a couple of things.
The difference in Etsy sales, meaning the difference between Etsy and eBay, and the
No,
fact that
between
it's
oh, well, I was thinking it was more between like the two of us because of the items you sell or because of the way
hmm,
it's promoted. So I'm going to take this as you asking the difference between the two of us in our Etsy sales because we have close to the same number of listings on Etsy. But there are a couple things that we do differently. First of all, I only do men's clothing, so it's all men's vintage clothing. I do think that's super popular right now. So I think that's part of it. Secondly, I I do the my Etsy more consistently, so I don't know if that has any effect. I don't know how similar Etsy
yeah,
is
I
to
haven't
eBay.
listed anything on Etsy in well
She
over a
doesn't
month.
cross post on Etsy at all. Dana does it for her, and generally it's like maybe once a week or a couple times a month, or I don't.
Hmm.
So it's a lot more sporadic. Third, I do keywords on all of my Etsy listings. She does not. So I take advantage of the keywords. You're allowed 13 different key phrases, keywords on Etsy for each listing, and I always fill all of those out. And they claim that I was reading up on like the different things that give you a bump in the search, and one of them is using all your keywords. So I would guess that that has a little bit to do with it, but it might also just be
Apparently,
because
we've
of
got
what
to
I
start
sell.
using keywords, Dana. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't
pretty
normally do
much,
it, so maybe that'll help.
pretty much.
Anyway,
Red Neckerson resales just busted out.
Nate changed it up. He did just to mess with us. It's not $1.77 this time. That must be inflation.
Yeah,
He's keeping a little bit back for inflation.
yeah, probably $1.63 super chat. Yeah. You like that?
All right, weirdo.
You like that?
All right.
Ooh, Bridget says, thank you for telling me about pirate ship simple export rate. Save $10 shipping to Japan.
Woo woo.
That is super, super awesome.
I save money every week using that, and I love it. I love
Yeah,
pirate ship. I love cubic shipping. I love simple export rate. It's a good time.
yeah, pretty much. All right, let's go ahead and let me close this out, and then we'll go ahead and do our sales highlights for the week. Ooh, I got an offer for Share Living Proof Tour t-shirt.
Woo, lucky you.
Lucky me. All right, so we're going to go ahead and share the screen here again. Let me bust this out.
Nate says business has been slow. I
What you
yeah,
sold
so,
here?
right? Okay, so I showed this in a haul a few weeks ago. I did pay up a little bit for this. I think I paid $12. They had them in the case at Savers for some reason. I paid $12 for a set of books. That's a little high for me. And sold for $62.97, but sold international. So the customer paid like $38 in shipping, and I believe it cost me 22 and change. So I also made money on the shipping. They
Wow.
were free shipping, free media mail here, but yeah, I made good money on it. So
Wow. Not too shabby. All right, my first lame sale. Just kidding. I sold this No Fear t-shirt. This is one I bought at Buffalo Exchange. And I'm always saying, like, if you see No Fear stuff, pick it up because it sells really well. No Fear as in vintage No Fear. New No Fear, not necessarily something that's super desirable. But this t-shirt, I think I've had it up for like a month or so. I took an offer for $60. So I got $60 for this, I think, pretty cool um, vintage 80s No Fear t-shirt. And but yeah, I'm always picking up No Fear stuff. All right, next one for you.
okay,
Everybody saw you texting.
yep.
She was texting you guys. I don't know if you
I was
saw
I was
the
answering a
tiny
question.
shrunken version of
I was
us.
actually it was from a message from somebody who's in the chat who sent me a
So
private message.
rude.
Anyway, so I picked this up. This is actually an item I paid a little bit up for. I think I paid $18. I know I did get it at Buffalo Exchange. It was
Mm-hmm.
either 15 or 18. And it took a little while to sell. And as you can see, I don't even steam my shit. Like Katie would have had this
Inappropriate.
nice and steamed and
Yep. This is
unwrinkly. And
embarrassing.
I've
Look at
embarrassed
that.
the family.
Ugh.
I've embarrassed the family.
Ugh.
So it
That
sold for
lighting.
this.
Ugh.
Shut up. It sold for the sale price you see here for $94 and change. Let's say I paid $18 for it. It was under a pound to ship. So because it was a lightweight satin jacket.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. All right, next one for me. So this isn't like a crazy sale or anything, but the reason I wanted to show this is because I had picked this up. It's not vintage or anything, but it's a Bugs Bunny basketball sweatshirt. And I had actually taken this because it wasn't vintage. I picked it up with the intent of trading it in a Buffalo Exchange.
Mm-hmm.
And I took it in, and this was one of the ones that they rejected. So I'm like, ugh, now I'm stuck with this. And so I went ahead and listed it, and it's been up for maybe like 2 months now, and it sold for $34.99. So I'm like, okay, I'll take $34.99. Heck of a lot better than like the $6 or $8 in credit I would have
See,
gotten in
Nate says
Buffalo.
it's the new wrinkled look style. I agree with you, Nate. It's called the I list too dim much to
Whatever.
fanaticize over every single picture. It sells anyway.
I don't. It doesn't. My process, as
I'm
our
not talking
Canadian,
about your process.
as
I'm
our
talking about
Canadian friends
mine.
would say, my process is very streamlined
You're
and
feeling
quick.
awfully
It just
defensive. I wasn't
you
talking about you.
back
I'm
off,
talking about
back off.
me.
They can see us. They can
I
see us in the
know.
tiny window right now.
I'm talking about me.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't care enough to spend 20 minutes on each item to have it photographed. I
Right.
just
And
don't.
and what I'm saying is there's in no way am I spending 20 minutes steaming stuff. I throw it in the
Still
dryer.
spend more than I do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't have any prep
She's so
time.
sassy. Remember how I sell way more stuff than you on Etsy? Maybe it
Mem-
has something to do with that. People don't like your
Remember,
wrinkly crap.
remember how my sales are a good 30% higher than yours anyway?
Oh, why?
There you go.
It's so rude. So rude.
You went there
Next.
first.
Next. I'm never helping you ship anything ever again. Speaking of this
Ah.
thing.
Oh yeah, speaking of this thing, so I took an offer for this for $150. They paid $100 shipping.
Mm.
I did charge a flat fee for shipping. The nice thing was is that it only cost me $50 to ship.
And she didn't pay me anything.
I didn't pay her anything. You're paid in my undying devotion, my dear.
I don't believe it.
If you go to my Instagram, I show a step-by-step list of photos showing how we packaged this. This was a mess. This was a really, really difficult thing to package. I have to say, I've had some really difficult things in the past couple of weeks. The good thing is I don't have any more. I have no more crazy things that
I'm not
are
gonna let you buy anymore.
difficult to ship. I've actually sold them all, so woohoo! This was a biatch to ship, but I'm fairly certain it will get there in one piece.
We'll see.
I don't know.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. One of the things that was hard to ship did. Like I get great feedback on
Yeah.
it the other day. I was like, "Woohoo! It didn't break."
One of the fun things that we get to do is when Vikki has something really hard to ship and that's really big and bulky, and then she brings me in, then it's like I'm trying to like figure it out mathematically of like what the best way to do it is, and then we never argue about what the
Oh
best
no,
approach is. But usually I
never.
have to be like, shut your mouth. if you want my help, I'm doing this. Because you know, it's like it's physics. There's certain things you have to
Hmm.
do where you don't want any strain or weight to go on certain parts of it, or the whole thing will just snap or shatter or whatever. So you have to like kind of think about like how you're distributing the weight, and you know, if it gets any pressure on it or stuff gets put on top of it, blah 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 blah.
So yes, I did use the foam insulation, the spray and foam insulation. Not with this. This was just
Hmm.
styrofoam and cardboard and all kinds of stuff like that. But I did use the spray and foam for that large, heavy glass, Murano glass piece. And that piece weighed 35 pounds packaged. It was huge and it was really heavy. And to package and ship something that solid and made out of glass, you have to be real careful of that's not any pressure point on that and it's
Yep.
just going to snap. Right. So it was double boxed. We did use the spray and insulation foam on the sides. It made it. That was the thing I got great feedback on. So it made it. It wasn't a huge mess. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's going to be a huge mess." It really wasn't a huge mess to do it at all. I didn't videotape it because I was like in my PJs when I packaged it.
I
So
was ready to video it, and she was like,
I don't
"I'm
even
not
have
gonna
video.
go take a shower and put makeup on just so I can make a video." And I'm like, "We promised our people," and she said, "I don't care about any of them. They can suck it." That's what she said.
That's what I said. I don't. I did say I'm not going to do a video in my PJs, but I didn't say they could suck it.
Well, your eyes said it, so.
Oh, okay.
At some point we'll have to. I actually want to see like if there's other kinds of that stuff that we can get, that because the stuff that you got is specifically for like filling like cracks and gaps and
That's what
stuff.
they're all for.
I know, but I think that they make some that's specifically for
They
packaging.
do, but it's 17 like
It's
it's
a
like
lot more expensive.
$17 a bottle versus $4 a
Yeah,
bottle. And that's the thing.
but we had to use
It's
two of
it's
them, so it was like $8. So yeah,
it's the same stuff.
yeah.
So
So
I have used it. It did work, Liz. The thing about it that you need to keep in mind is that it has to cure. So it's kind of liquidy for about a good 6 or 8 hours. So you have to make sure that you know that it's going to expand by at least 50% and that you have to have several hours. It can't be like you're packaging it to ship out that morning.
yeah,
So we packaged it in the morning and waited, 6 or 8 hours and then shipped it that night
yeah.
just to make sure.
All right, so this one for me, this is a Stussy hoodie sweatshirt, not vintage. So I had it priced $55.99, and I actually took an offer for $47. But yeah, this Stussy stuff, I mean, there I come across a lot of Stussy t-shirts now that I just pass on just because I'm kind of like meh. But a nice black hoodie like this with the 8 ball on the back of it is pretty cool. The graphic was cool, and so I went ahead and picked it up. And it really didn't take that long to sell, and I got almost $50 out of it, so it wasn't a bad flip. Next one for you.
This one didn't take that long to sell either, just a few weeks. I paid $5 for this at a Savers. I always buy cuckoo clocks.
Cuckoo.
People tend to look at them and they don't think they're worth much. Cuckoo clocks sell very well, and different types of them sell better than others. This was a fairly inexpensive one. I paid $5. I know that all the parts are there and everything moves easily, then I'm going to list it as fine. I'm not going to test it. Any cuckoo clock that gets taken off of the wall and packaged needs to be re-leveled when the person buys it anyway. They have to make the weights hang properly. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not like you can say it's tested, and I mean you could, but for the most part, if you don't see any obvious damage, you don't see anything wrong with it,
Yeah.
you just sell it. Cuckoo clocks are something that has to be, as long as everything moves the way it's supposed to and there's no damage, you sell it the way it is.
Yeah.
It's not like you can plug it in or anything like that. I don't even know how to wind or balance or anything to do a cuckoo
What?
clock. I
You
have
don't?
no clue. But I've sold dozens of them.
My grandpa used to work on clocks, so he had tons and tons and tons of clocks.
So I paid about $5 for it. This is actually a fairly small one. It fit very easily in a medium flat rate box,
Mm-hmm.
and it went to New York.
Very nice.
So the only thing that's heavy on them are the weights. The pendulum weights. In this case, they almost always look like pine cones.
Yeah, they're cool.
The Black Forest ones.
Yeah.
So it's fairly heavy. It went to New York, medium flat rate for 12 and change.
Nice. All right, next one for me is this Pendleton shirt that like I've had listed forever, like based on this picture.
I was going to tell based on that
It looks
photo.
like it's
That's
from
from
my basement.
That's from your basement in Portland. In Oregon.
When I didn't, my photos weren't as good, and they were like all yellow in the background. Anyway, it's not even it's a vintage shirt. It's not
It's not a board
it's
shirt.
not a board shirt. And anyway, so I had this one. Let's see, I had this one listed for quite a while, obviously, and then it's funny because I sold it the same day that I think I saw Allison had posted that
She sold
she had
one.
sold a Pendleton shirt or something. And so we're going to go ahead and go to flippertools.com. This is a great site to use for free to be able to check Etsy sold prices and also eBay best offer actual selling prices. So we're going to go ahead and look over here so we can tell you how much I sold this for. This one went for $47.99, and then it was also I believe it went to Canada. Actually, I had it on sale, 10% off, but then I got 10.50 or something like that more for shipping. Um, so yeah, it was a nice little international sale.
Dana says that is a lovely cuckoo clock parts ensemble photo.
All right, next one for you.
So this is something that I did sell on consignment. This is the same consignee that I've sold two other items for that I've shown. I only have two more items for her to sell. She'd given me a total of five. This I actually took an offer of $400. So I'm gonna, she's gonna get a little under $200, of that 400. She gets 50%
Mm-hmm.
of the net profit. So whatever, like 170 or something, she'll end up getting. So this is just a pretty cool bird. Some people sell these things.
Toucan Sand.
Yeah, not toucan Sam, but he's a toucan.
Mm-hmm.
Dom is the type of crystal, and depending on the figure, some sell very well. 350 was a decent. I'm sorry, what did I say? 350, 400,
I don't know.
400 was a decent price on this. It's 400 plus the customer paid for shipping, and I just put a flat shipping fee, and I'll just make sure that it's packaged as well as possible. Depending on the figurine and the subject matter, they can sell very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
This particular one was a not too exciting toucan.
Yeah. All right, next one for me. Moving on over to my Etsy sales. So I actually sold two things. I did a post on Instagram about this. I sold this Nebraska Huskers jacket, and then I also sold a Nebraska Huskers T-shirt together. And when I went to go print the label, it was actually going to a costume department for New York City. They decided to go move to Nebraska and like live on a farm. And anyway, so the costume department ordered this jacket and t-shirt, and it was super awesome because it's always fun to get to sell something to a television show or a movie, because then that means I gotta watch it at some point and see if I see my stuff pop up. But I think the total order was like over $80. But this jacket was again 10% off, so it was like 40 something for the jacket. But it was just a really fun sale. I loved getting those sales.
Hmm.
And then again, the couple things that are great about it. One, it's fun to sell something to a television show, and two, you're not going to get it back. There's going to be no returns.
Yeah,
You
they
don't have to
never
worry
get handed
about it.
back.
They're not going to say like, oh, this wasn't in the same condition I thought it was going to be. They're not going to say, oh, this doesn't quite fit. It's like
Hmm.
they buy it and then they're done. They're not going to like hassle with anything. Um, all right, next one for you.
So Carolyn asked a question: how do you deal with the amount showing as all your income, yet part of the money goes to the owner in the consignment situations? It's a line item deduction. Consignee payouts are an expense. It's a line item deduction.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Um,
you have to obviously account for all money coming in, but also all money going out. So
mhm.
so it does that does add to your total income. It just is a bigger expense than what a normal item would be for you.
Exactly. So I'm going to quickly go through four sales at the same time because they're four sales that went to the same person. I woke up the other day to to four offers, and I was like, heck yeah, I'll take those offers because it was going to four people. So these four dresses, all some type of African type of print, and all vintage. The three of them went for $65 a piece, and one went for $45. They all sold to the same person.
Very cool.
She paid right away, and she's already given fantastic feedback. Now, I may not have taken a $65 offer on the $105 item
Hmm.
off the bat. I might have gone 75 or 80. But 65 when it was across the board on three of them, absolutely, I'll take a little bit more for a collective big sale.
Yeah,
I paid $5 a piece for them.
very cool.
So I was pretty excited. It was a good sale.
All right. Next one for me is this awesome Harley Davidson t-shirt. I love this shirt because it's got the I mean, I love any shirt that has like space travel or like space shuttle or anything
Hmm.
like that. So this is kind of cool because it's a Harley Davidson shirt, but it's for Rocket City, Huntsville, Alabama. And so it has like the cool like moonwalk and everything, but plus motorcycles. So it's kind of cool. Super faded. This one's from 1999, and I don't remember where I got this one from. It might have been one from a bundle from
George
Barry.
Barry, or I
I
was gonna
think,
say
or no, actually, no, you're
maybe
right.
Jordan.
You're right. I think I got it. I think I got it from my guy on the East Coast. So let's go ahead and see how much I sold this one for. Um, I believe it was, yes, $69.99, but again, 10% off. So it's 10% off of that. This one might have gone internationally. I can't remember now off the top of my head. But awesome sale. I love stuff like this. Not all Harley Davidson stuff, just because it's like from the 90s doesn't mean it's going to sell for a lot. But again, because of the subject matter on it, it just is a cool shirt.
Yep, Sunny says potato, 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 potato. That's what a Harley sounds like.
Oh. Yeah, and actually, Allison, Big Jerk Thrift, had sent me a picture of a t-shirt that she got recently. It's not Harley. It's like, I think it was like a racing t-shirt, but it has like a whole, like, it's showing like playing golf on the moon or something like that. Or on it's a cool shirt. I like that kind of stuff. All right, next
Cool, cool,
one
cool, cool.
for you. Cool, cool, cool.
So this one I sold yesterday, and the only reason why I'm showing it, it didn't sell for a huge amount. It was decent, but sometimes you'll get a customer that wants you to ship something quickly, and they want you to ship it overnight, and they're willing to pay for it. So this customer needed this. It's for a set in California, and this customer needed it for Monday delivery. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't normally ship on Saturdays, but she's like, I'm going to give you my FedEx number for you to send it overnight. Can you get it out today? She contacted me early in the morning. I said, if you pay within the next few hours, yes, I can do that, because I was going out yesterday anyway, and it was no problem for me to stop by the FedEx office and drop it off so that it went out yesterday for Monday delivery.
Yeah.
I'm not always going to accommodate a customer for that depending on the price, but in this case, I normally would have done free shipping. I didn't do free shipping on this. The buyer paid for shipping, so I got a little bit more money for it, because this would have had to go into a priority, so it would have been $7 and
Mm-hmm.
change. Um, so anyway, I'm pretty excited. I did go drop it off yesterday, and it sold for, I think I have about $5 invested in this.
Yeah. No, actually, I gave that to you, woman.
Are you sure this
Yeah.
is the one you gave
Yep,
to
that
me?
was a free vest from me to you. Donna, if the screen's looking blurry for you, it's not for everybody else. So go ahead and refresh your screen. It could just be a matter of refreshing the page. And if you need to lower the resolution on the little settings for your YouTube video there, that might help too. But yeah, everybody else is saying that their screens look fine. And I actually have it open on my phone right here, and it's coming through. Okay, so
Okay, so actually I didn't pay any. I would have bought this vest. So you
I'm
sure you gave
sure.
this one to me?
Yeah,
I think you gave me a different one.
no, this is what I gave you.
All right.
I promise.
All right. Well, I paid nothing for it. And it sold for,
Oh, let me see. You want to know what it sold for? I think I
yeah,
already
pay
copied it.
attention to your job, would you?
How rude! All right, get over here, and it sold for.
$69.95 plus the customer paid for shipping.
Yeah, so that was pretty awesome. All right, next one for me. This is a pretty cool sale I have this week.
I just sold the same one this week.
Red one.
Yes.
Where'd yours go?
I don't know. They didn't pay yet.
Oh,
I want to see how much you sold it for. This is like, I'm telling you, this is like Dickies jackets.
was yours a
I
rainbow
can't
tag?
sell them. Yes.
It was red with rainbow tag.
I'm gonna double check, but
Okay.
I'm gonna check right now.
So this is a nice, vibrant,
It's
vibrant
vintage.
red, members only. The rainbow tag lets you know that it is definitely from the 80s. And I love the color on it. And I really didn't have it listed that long, maybe like a month or so. Just a really super cool jacket. And let's go ahead and see what I sold it for. What'd you sell yours for? Tell me what you sold yours
Way
for.
less than you sold yours for, I
Is it a
guarantee.
rainbow?
I'm checking.
It's 30.
Go ahead and
No,
check.
I want to know what your price is first. Or what your, make sure, let's make sure that it is what the same thing. Do you show the tag? Apparently you don't show the tag.
Apparently,
know
I don't
why
have the
not.
tag. I don't know. I didn't take these photos.
Okay. Anyway, yours sold for 36 something. Yeah. That's guys.
Lame.
You guys ready? Are you guys ready for this?
She does this to me every time.
I don't gloat like this, but we're going to talk about this one right now. With the amount of sales you got this last week compared to me, I get to have fun making fun of you and giving you a hard time over this one jacket.
It's like Dickies jackets and members only. I can't freaking give them away, and she rocks them.
She sold hers for $36 and something cents. That's
Are
right.
you freaking kidding me?
It was 10% off. So it was 10% off. So
And my customer didn't even pay.
it sold for $89.99, but it was an international sale.
So you made money on shipping.
It was an international sale. I believe it went to France. I can't quite. I'm not entirely sure where. No, wait. Actually, this one might have been the one that went to Iceland. Anyway, so they paid. So I actually made like $100 on it. So yeah. So there you go. 36 something. Ridiculous.
At 36 nothing. They didn't even pay. So I need to increase my price and take a photo of the tag apparently.
There you go. There you go. All right. So I'm sorry to make you feel inferior, but
I absolutely feel inferior.
All right, go ahead with your sale here.
But
another one
by the other token, if you look at this item and see how these sell, these don't sell for very much. I almost didn't list this. I can't remember where I got it.
I gave it to you. This came into my box of stuff from my guy on the East Coast, and I just didn't. I sell clothes. I didn't want to sell it, so she got this from me.
And this photo is mine. So anyway, this sold international. Customer paid like $30 shipping.
Really?
And these are selling for like 10 or 15 bucks on eBay. Most people are like not listing them for very much at all. But it sold for me for $32.95 on Etsy, but they also paid $30 in shipping. And it really only cost me like $12 to ship.
Yeah. So Enrique wants to know how I get my red to look so good when taking my pictures. It really has to, if you go back and watch, actually, if you watch the video, it's linked down below for the new ring light that we got. I think I show my camera settings in that video.
You do.
It really comes down to your white balance. So making sure that you're using daylight bulbs, and then setting your white balance to be in sync with your daylight bulbs, and then adjusting the brightness. I have zero problems with red, or purple or blue or any of those things. And it really has to do with having the right settings on your camera or the camera app that you're using. All right, so last one for me. I sold this Aerosmith t-shirt, and it's funny because I actually sold this last week or the week before maybe to somebody in Japan. They made an offer. I accepted. I was like, "Yay, it's gonna be an international sale." And then they didn't pay forever. And then they finally sent me a message and said, "Oh, it's just too much." And so they didn't actually buy it. But this is one of the t-shirts from the 30 different rock t-shirts that I got from Barry. And so I was doing some negotiating with the guy in California on this one, and I ended up taking with Etsy, I just go and change my price. And so since there's no like best offer feature, so I repriced it so that when it went on sale, because if you have it in a sale, it'll automatically price it down. So I actually sold it for 120 and like a few cents the way it turned out. So $120 for this Aerosmith t-shirt. So that's my biggest sale of the week. So really, Etsy's the one that came through for me as far as my sales this week, since eBay was kind of meh, wah wah wah. So that's it.
Apparently, for my unpaid members only jacket, I need to retake a couple of the photos and raise my price.
Well, I mean, it really depends though, because isn't the rainbow tag. I think that does add some value.
I don't remember if it's a rainbow tag or not. It didn't say in the photo.
It's important, okay? It's important, and you should have that as like keywords and whatnot.
All right, bite me.
Misty says I should give you an offer and flip it myself. Yeah.
You can pay $36 for it.
Yeah, right.
For $100.
Yeah, right. Not gonna happen.
$36 free shipping. I'll even deliver it.
Not gonna happen.
By hand.
Ooh, or isn't that fancy? Anyway, so that's it for our sales highlights for the week. So yeah, so we got a little haul. We didn't do like a crazy amount of sourcing. I mean, we went on Thursday. We went to our regular Thursday thing. Actually, you went on, was it Wednesday? When did you go with Dana? You went with Dana and like
the day before. I went Wednesday with Dana for a little bit.
Yeah, so you did a little bit without me, and then it was Tuesday or something. I don't know. It was one of those days. I don't know anymore. All the days run together nowadays. But on Thursday, I went and did my regular all-day thrifting. You came along with me.
We didn't hit all the stores,
We
though.
didn't. We ended the day a little early.
We hit 4 stores.
And Buffalo.
Well, you went to Buffalo, yeah.
So I did 5. So I went to Buffalo, got like $125 in credit at Buffalo, which was awesome because I still had a $70 card. Plus you had your sad little $7.50 credit you gave to me. So I had about $200 in credit to blow there, and I ended up getting like $220 worth of stuff. So I paid like
Mm-hmm,
20
mm-hmm.
bucks for a bunch of awesome vintage stuff.
So
It was
yeah,
pretty cool.
Cheryl, you might be the only one that doesn't keep the shipping overage. The only time I refund a shipping overage, because I do free shipping on almost everything unless it's a heavy item. The only time I refund a shipping overage is if someone buys multiples and they don't wait for a combined invoice, then I tend to feel bad and
Yeah,
I'll give them,
it's like a crazy.
and it's like a big difference.
Yeah. The thing
Um,
is, they're getting charged retail rates, and so, um, and, and because I do free shipping domestically but charge internationally, uh, I have more room to negotiate. So if I have somebody who's from another country and they want to negotiate on price, I will accept lower prices than I would from somebody domestically because of that. But it's all kind of in my mind, those overages make up for the small amount of added risk that comes with doing your own international shipping. And so that's why we really encourage people to do their own, because it's like, come on, you're going to make more money per sale, so that in those small number of times when things go south, it's like it's worth it because you've already like made so much more money from every other sale.
mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, it was Tuesday. That's right, because we went to dinner with Kara's last night after. So I went out with Dana to a couple stores on Tuesday.
Right.
So are we going to get into our finds,
Our
our
haul, I
haul?
suppose,
All right.
if you'd like to.
I would. I would like to.
All right, let's do
Would
it.
you like us to, people?
Or do we have to
And put
wait
that in the
now while
trash.
delay happens and then they say yes and then you're like, okay.
No. Do you want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So I've got some vintage stuff. So I picked this up at Savers, Bag on the Wall. I don't buy patterns very often. I know some people say that there are certain patterns that do very well. Most patterns tend to sit for me, and then they only sell for like 10 to 15 bucks. So even if they're free, that's not worth listing for me most of the time. But I do like the really cool vintage patterns. And in this case, I know I did good. So they were $2 in a bag on the wall, and they're both 1950s bridal patterns. One is a Vogue bridal pattern, and it's uncut,
Very nice.
and then the other one is a McCall's bridal pattern. Both of them are uncut, and they're from the 1950s. So I paid, less than $1 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
The Vogue one should sell for over 100,
Yeah.
and the McCalls should probably sell for about 50 or so.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited when it's something like this. Like stuff from the 50s, I love to find patterns, 40s and 50s patterns, but bridal stuff sells really well.
Yeah.
Also, the big Vogue ones, the designer ones, sell really well
Cool.
too.
Key Lime Kisses, we both list 100% of what we buy on eBay. So everything gets listed on eBay in our eBay stores. And then anything that's vintage also gets cross-posted to Etsy. So that's why we have more stuff on eBay than we do on Etsy. So
You were just like yupping me to death for me to rush through my explanation so you could answer
no,
that
I
question.
don't. What am I?
Yep,
What am I gonna put
yep,
in?
yep.
What? Okay, sorry. What commentary would you like me to give you for your wedding patterns? As you know, I
Rude.
have a lot of knowledge when it comes to wedding dress patterns from the 50s. So get on it. Get to it.
So these two things, I haven't seen if Alexis is in the chat. I don't think she is today. These two things I actually got when we went to San Francisco for Pride. So it wasn't in the last 2 weeks, but I did just get them because Robin had hung on to them for me, so I didn't ship them home. So I paid $1 a piece at an estate sale when we were with Robin, Alexis, and I went to an estate sale in San Francisco. And as you guys might have seen before, other people will talk about this, or you see the halls and Bolo's places. This is vintage maxi pads, vintage $1 a piece, new in the box, things like that. This is from the 1980s. I would say they're both from the 80s. This one should sell for like 75 bucks. This one will sell for like at least 40 or 50. This type of stuff sells really well to prop and movie houses. I don't know why, but they like this type of stuff for the background. Like if you watched Stranger Things this last season, there were a lot of scenes of the mom working in the drugstore, and everything on the shelves in the drugstore were all vintage stuff from the 80s. So where do you think they get this stuff?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I paid $1 a piece for these. I'm kind of I'm excited by that stuff. I love new old stock stuff.
Dana says I'm very sassy today.
She is. She's super rude today.
Whatever.
Rude.
I'm fun. Do you remember what's that book called? The is it Dear God or Hello God or whatever? It's Me, Margaret.
Yep. Hello God,
Hello
it's me,
God.
Margaret.
It's Me, Margaret.
Judy Bloom.
Remember when do you remember when there's like the whole there's something in there that I remember when I read it when I was a kid where it's like they have to go get maxi pads at the store, but it's like it comes with a belt and everything. And I remember reading that and being like, what in the good golly jeez is that?
Because
Because it was like
we're just a little too young to remember the sanitary belts. Just a little.
But I remember like that in the book and just being like that. I don't even know what's happening there, but
Yeah, I had to ask my mom.
Yeah.
Because I remember reading that book and asked my mom. So let's see, what else do I have? I got this one more thing, and I'll show, and then you can cross to you. So I paid $6 for these, and I always look in the linen section. You know, I talk about that. So what I picked up was these. I think I haven't even opened them all the way up. I think they're full size actually, and not twin size, which makes it even better. So Grave Digger, this monster truck racing thing. Grave Digger is a certain I don't know, one of the trucks.
One of the trucks.
I don't know. I'm not a monster truck
It's
racer.
one of the trucks.
But super popular truck that is vintage. So these are sheets, and these sheets sell for like $75.
That's crazy.
Kids sheets. There's the fitted and the flat sheet. It does not have the pillowcase. I may actually try to source the pillowcase, but I haven't found it yet. I might try to source it to complete the set to make it worth even more if I can get it cheap enough. So we'll see.
Cheryl says the belt and a box of pads left on my bed was my entire sex education.
Oh my God.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, pads with belts. Good God, savages. I don't know. You think it would have taken do you think they would have figured out adhesives before
Deb,
then?
I don't know if that's Deb or her wife. This is good God PTSD right now.
That's pretty funny. All right. So I didn't get like a crazy amount of stuff. I mean, I still have some. I still have some T-shirts and stuff that I need to photograph. So it's kind of like I don't really have a huge need to buy tons and tons and tons of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So really, the majority of the things that I bought, I didn't really buy that many things at Savers for myself. A lot of it was stuff to flip at Buffalo Exchange. So let's start with some T-shirts and stuff. First of all, I've got this sweet Monterey Bay tank top. Vikki claims that she has this exact same one in her store.
I'm pretty sure I do.
I'd like to know how much you're selling it for, so that I can sell mine for more.
Yep, let me check. I'm pretty sure it's the same one.
Does it say Monterey Bay? Because it might be one of those things where they switch up the.
I'm pretty sure it's the same exact one.
Anyway, I think it's awesome. I love the whale stuff. I actually bought a couple of T-shirts with whales on them as well.
I'm looking it up right now, guys. That's what I'm looking for.
As whale.
Jesus.
How do you even handle it?
Medication, apparently.
Anyway, I just think it's an awesome tank top. It's from the 90s, single stitch. Here's a Fruit of the Loom, made in the U.S. See, now it's like we're
how do I spell
our camera?
Am I spelling this?
Instead of us being able to see the mirror image of ourselves, it's backwards. So I was totally like trying to be like, look at it. Why aren't you looking at it? I gotta go like this. Anyway, Fruit of the Loom, T-shirt tag. I'll probably sell that bad boy for like, I don't know, $40.
JDM Designs, Monterey Bay tank top. Is that the same one?
Yeah, that's pretty much the same one. Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Mine's way better though. It's gonna sell for a lot more.
It probably will. When it comes to safe, I'm selling the same one. Oh, I gotta go sideways.
See? You're like, do it just like me. All right. So then I have this awesome T-shirt. This is a ringer. I got a couple of ringer tees this week. This is a ringer tee. It's a Screen Stars, and this is from 1984, and it says, "Support your right to keep and arm bears." So this is a really silly.
I think that's funny.
Yeah, it's a really silly ringer tee from 1984. And I'll go ahead. I think I've shown this.
You just try to push me out here.
Yeah, I am. Just trying to show you.
She's shoving my chair. Yep. Like, excuse me, I'll make sure I leave.
I'll show you this. This Screen
Stars. Katy show.
The Screen Stars tag. See that the A there? I've shown this before, but see how the A curves there on the A at the beginning? That says that this is a pre-1985 Screen Stars T-shirt. Again, it already says 1984 on it, but that's just to tell you with the Screen Stars one. Next, I have this awesome wrestling t-shirt. This is a Stone Cold Steve Austin t-shirt. 2002. The front just says, "What?" I should probably be wearing this. What? And the back is the Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's the skull and everything. So this t-shirt, it's in really nice condition. I don't think it's really even been worn. But it's 2002. I've seen this t-shirt sell for like 30 bucks. I think I can get like 40 to 50 for it. It's a really good size. It's, well, it says large, but it's kind of that oversized large. Um, so yeah, I think I can get like 40 to 50 for it. I think it's a cool, these wrestling t-shirts, almost wrestling t-shirts, almost vintage. Barbara wants to know, what size is it? Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about the tank top or, oh, the bear shirt? It was really small. I think it's a small, super tiny. It's a vintage 80s small. So it's like
extra small.
It's like 16 and a half, 17 inches across the chest. So not so great on the size.
Kara says the shirt is the lone cypress tree on the 17-mile drive.
All right. Okay.
Cheryl said, "Come back." I'm here, Cheryl.
Then I have this awesome, probably 80s Coca-Cola t-shirt, single stitch. Just a nice Coca-Cola t-shirt. And this was from Buffalo Exchange, so I think I paid like 10 bucks for it. But just a cool, nostalgic red Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. You like that?
Be sure.
Yeah. All right, I'll do one more t-shirt and then we'll go over to you, because people are gonna be like, t-shirts. Come on, what's up with all these t-shirts?
Always, that's what they say.
This one though, this is probably the coolest of all the t-shirts that I got this week. I have no idea how I'm gonna price. I haven't done any research. I need to figure it out. This is from the 1984. Barbara, you're gonna like this, because 1984 Dallas Republican National Convention. So this would have been what, Ronald Reagan?
Reagan era.
Mm-hmm. Reagan era. So it's a really cool.
Make sure you put Reagan in the title for sure.
Yeah, really, of course. Really cool ringer tee in excellent condition. Don't know that it was worn much at all. And it's just a really cool t-shirt.
That's super soft cotton.
Super soft, single stitch.
It's not crispy because it's like soft.
Yeah, the tag is TJ's. So it's just like one of those t-shirt brands from back in the day. Pretty small. It's a size small. But it's super cool, and the fact that it's like Reagan era Republican National Convention, I think it could sell for a lot. I don't know. I'll have to look it up.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to look it up, see if I can find anything like it. But I think it's really cool.
Very topical.
Well, it's always topical, right?
Mm-hmm.
Politics are always happening. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so this was the other item that I had picked up in San Francisco. We went on like day 2 or day 3 of this estate sale, and it was 50% off. So I paid $10. I'm not even sure I paid the full 10 because I piled up a bunch of stuff and she gave me a stupid cheap price. But I picked up this vintage rotary wall phone, but it's red. And what's cool about it is that it has the red cord,
nice,
to plug in, but it's also an international plug. This is not a US plug. So
let's see that. That's very cool.
Yeah. So
I want to look at it.
It's the, what's it called? Stromberg Carlson. So I think it's a German company. I don't know. I haven't quite looked it all the way up yet, but I'm thinking this will sell for at least 100, probably like 129 is what I'll price it at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty excited. It's very cool. It's a nice looking one. It's very easily, you can pop out that cord in the back and put an American cord to plug it into an American phone line if you need to.
Yeah.
Most people are going to buy it for looks, not for actual
We
use.
used to have an awesome red phone that hung on the wall in our kitchen. That one of the ones that had like this super extra long cord so that you could like walk around and stuff and talk on the phone. But then when we had our house fire, the kitchen burned down to like the studs. And that
the house fire that
my sister started.
You and your sister caused?
Yeah, pretty much. And the red phone was just a melted red blob on the wall because it just like burned all the way down. But I missed that red phone.
Let's see. So something else I picked up was they have these priced really cheaply. I bought these at Savers the other day, and I'm shocked that they actually missed a brand name on anything because lately they've been getting a little bit little ambitious with their pricing. So these are Roberto Cavalli driving moccasins or driving shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to figure out how this camera works. Sorry guys, it's completely opposite what we're used to doing. So they've got a velvet top, and they're just a really nice leather driving moccasin for men. These retail for like 800 bucks. So I'm selling them. I'm going to sell them for probably about 200. I paid 8,
Mm-hmm.
which was a really good price.
Grandma Cheap wants to know: is there women's streetwear like Hammer Time pants, etc.? You know, there is, but I would say that the most popular is the men's, and a lot of the stuff that the women were wearing at that time, they just wear the men's t-shirts too. So if you ever see like, I don't know.
Yeah, if you see a bunch of teenage girls, and a lot of them are wearing right now, the big thing is the crew neck sweatshirts, and they'll wear the crew neck sweatshirts with the big spell out logo on them, just like
Yeah.
men would, and they're wearing the same type. They like men's sneakers as well. A lot of the men's sneaker looks. The only difference is usually in pants, because men's pants don't fit women the same way. So even the ones that are going with the vintage, they're going with the high waisted mom jeans, cuffed or rolled up, with the spell out sweatshirts and t-shirts and things like that. So
Yeah.
streetwear, even though it's mostly men, it's definitely unisex for those type of things. At least that's what I'm seeing out there.
I think
Watching.
a lot of women are buying men's streetwear to wear.
Right.
So I would say yes. So I would say overall the men's stuff is more popular, with both sexes.
Right.
But
And I think what you'll see is the best way to see this is go to, well, we live in a very touristy area, so we see people from all over the world that come here, and that's a great way to check out fashion, is actually being here in Vegas. You get to people watch. Airports are another good one. And just watch and watch the younger generation. You'll see what they're wearing. So I mean, for me, I learn a lot by watching people in the airports.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
no, those are not clown shoes. I think they're like a size 13, men's 13, something like that. So I picked up 2 pairs of pants. Again, not a huge pants fan. I'm like Katy. I don't really like to buy pants. I will, but I don't like to buy them. But these I could not resist. So you guys may have heard Katy talk about here and there. I'll talk about here and there's a brand called Johnny Blaze. So
hip hop.
Another hip hop kind of streetwear type of. Here's the tag so you can see. So these are new with tags, and they're vintage. So sorry, this camera is backwards. I apologize. So they're vintage, new with tags. I did pay up a little bit for these. I paid about $14 for them. I think I can get about 200.
Nice.
You know, pretty close to 200. So these are these super big, baggy, wide pants, like the huge wide leg, like Jenko jeans. That's what they're comped toward. But they're new with tags. They've got big pockets, like the big carpenter pockets that go way down the leg. And I think I can get close to 200 for them. They're huge, they're heavy, and they're a good size. They're a size 40 waist. So that's pretty
nice.
Cool. Do you ever see any leftover merchandise from eBay open at Las Vegas Savers? No, I never have.
No.
Mm-mm.
They usually give all that stuff out at the conference. Anyway, you have the other pair of jeans?
Yep, and I have another pair of jeans that are also new with tags. Same thing, vintage 90s. This is another brand that was made popular in the streetwear community called Outcast. And it's like this prison wear is what they call it, the prison wear blues. They're super soft, worn out denim, patched together, these big wide leg jeans. And these are new with tags as well. These are a size 38. I don't know. There were so many there, and a couple brands that were not worth me picking up. These I paid about $10 for. I think I can sell these for like 50 or 60. I've sold a shirt that was not new with tags for 60 a few months ago. Same brand. And then, yeah, you can go.
All right. How about some more t-shirts, guys?
And then I'll do one last thing. I have like 4 more things.
Okay, so how many things do you have left?
4.
Okay. So this is just a cool, I like my surf stuff, my ski stuff. So this is just a cool Ensenada surfing t-shirt. I like the view from the sky, the overhead view of the surfboard going into the ocean. I think that's a really cool design. And the tag, so this is an anvil tag.
You can Ensenada, see it's close to Tijuana as you can get without being in Tijuana as far as what it looks like.
So this is a 90s anvil tag made in the U.S. Single stitch. So you can see that right there. Just a cool t-shirt. I'll probably sell this for like 45 or so. I like it. I like the design. So this t-shirt right here, this is an Arizona t-shirt, but it's like an all-over print, kind of southwestern, I don't know, what Aztec art kind of thing going
It's like
on.
Native American pottery.
Native American pottery. Just a really cool single stitch, all-over print. Would you have picked this up?
Yeah.
I like it. And it says Arizona there on the front. And again, this is another 90s anvil tag, made in the U.S. So it's just a really cool. The all over print, I think, is what really sells it. So of all the T-shirts, this is the coolest one I got, guys.
That one is pretty cool.
And I'm hoping that this will sell well. So this is a Denver Broncos, like 80s, one of those jersey type T-shirts.
Which I love this style of shirt, by the way. It's like baseball jersey style, but with short sleeves.
Yeah. But what's really, really cool about this...
Hold it up more.
I know. I was hiding it. What's really cool about this is it's actually signed by John Elway. So you can see it says John Elway 7. And, you know...
That is a real marker
definitely
sign.
A real signature. You can tell it's a Sharpie. It's kind of bleeding a little bit. And it's actually...
It bled through a little bit.
The back of the shirt a little bit.
Someone took it to some kind of event to have him sign it.
But so I don't have any kind of like certificate of authenticity or anything like that. But, you know, I looked it up online. I mean, this is definitely his signature. And I highly doubt that there's somebody out there like practicing on faking their John Elway signature on an old T-shirt. But I just think that's really, really cool. And I don't necessarily know that whoever priced it at Buffalo Exchange realized that that wasn't just part of the shirt. Because if you just kind of glance at it, you might not realize that that's an actual signature, because they only priced it like they priced it like $16.50. I would have thought they would have priced it a lot more.
I don't think they realized it was a signature.
Yeah. So I just think it's super cool. I think it's
because they put the tags on as they take them in. So you only have one person looking at that and tagging it. It's not like it goes through a huge process before it gets out on the sales floor.
No, they have buyers at the counter. They look at your stuff. They decide like, oh, this T-shirt's going to sell for $12. And so they go ahead and they print out the actual, they do something in the computer, they print out the actual tag, they take a clothespin and they pin it on there and they throw it in the basket, and then somebody else comes and actually does the little gun thing that makes the little plastic taggy thing on it. And then you get 50% of whatever that price is for credit, or 30% for cash.
So what's up, Heather? Exclusive Elegance in the house. She says, what's up, girls? How are you? Just stopping in while saving lives in the ER, one foreign body at a time. Make sure you get all the foreign bodies and foreign materials out of people's throats and ears and eyeballs and noses and other orifices.
Yeah. And if you guys aren't following Heather, Exclusive Elegance, on Instagram, you should be, because they have the cutest kids. And they're so stinking cute, and she's always posting pictures of them like helping out with the business and
they
stuff.
help and package and put labels on, and they're really cute.
Yeah, really.
One of the stinkers dropped and broke a Swarovski item the other day, but it happens.
Yeah, really super cute.
It's collateral damage with kids.
Grandma Cheap says Elway runs a car dealership now, just like all old football do. You know what? It's funny because I don't know any of you guys, any of you that were here for Open. So they have Open in Mandalay Bay, and there's attached to Mandalay Bay, like right out of the casino, it goes to, they call it the Shops at Mandalay Bay, and it's SHOPPES, but it's like their little tiny shopping mall. And there is a store there. Is it like a sportswear store?
It's just a sporting goods. They sell like signed things, but also some like T-shirts and hats and things like that.
But like Pete Rose is there. I don't know how many days of the week. He's there from like noon to 5 or something like that. He sits there for 5 hours a day. And I never really looked in there until this last time I looked in, and he's just this old guy. He's got his little baseball cap on, and he was just like messing around on his phone or something like that.
Sitting there waiting, like, no line. See, here's the thing.
He's there like every day. It's
not like he's there a lot. He's there a lot. And the only time we're there, the only time we actually go to Mandalay Bay is when we've been having Open there the past couple of years. So it's like he's there a lot.
Yeah, it was just kind of interesting. All right,
he's kind of a dirtbag, so you know.
I have 2 more things. So do you want to finish with yours?
Sure.
And then I'll show my last 2.
Sure.
Yeah. So Pete lives here. So it's
all right, that makes sense. Then
he's dressed nice.
It's a tourist thing. So I mean, sure, he's going to bring in some.
He looks healthy. He was dressed nice.
Dana says he was at my 30th birthday. You're 30.
That's funny.
Well, that was a long time ago, Dana.
He was dressed nice. He looks fine. But it's like, I mean, how else are you going to be making money when you're I don't know how old he is. He's probably what, 70s,
70s.
80, early 80s, something like that. I mean, how else are you gonna make money at this point? If you're like an old sports guy, if you're not on TV or not, if you're not like,
Nobody's buying your books anymore.
yeah. So, all right,
Mm-hmm.
good.
So one of the things I picked up, Panhandle Slim, is a vintage. They still make clothing. It's Western wear, but they do have. This is vintage. So I paid about $10 for this. This is some fancy vintage women's dress. So it's got the big full dress skirt. But look at this fringe.
Woo, woo, woo. Shake
Look
it,
at this
shake it, shake it,
fringe.
shake it, shake it, shake
It's
it.
so hideous. I paid about $10 for it. I think I'm gonna get probably close to 100. I think it's pretty cool. I think I got the double middle fingers emoji from Dana by saying her 30th birthday was a long time ago. Let's see, what else am I at? So this is a brand that I've talked about before. I always like to buy, certain types of nightgowns and robes and things like that. And I love selling nightgowns and robes. As a matter of fact, I had one that I sent to you in the souls. The link must not have been good. Because I sold a vintage robe for $120 this week.
You sent me 2 links of the same thing.
Modest wear company. They have been around for a very long time, but they still currently make things. It's this brand called Lands of Salzburg. Frig, I can't get used to this stupid camera. I'm sorry. It's not where it used to be. Why? So Lands of Salzburg. So I paid $7.50. This is a dress. This is just a modest dress, long pockets. It's a church dress. We live in Mormon country. This is the type of thing that a more modern but modest Mormon woman might wear. They would probably wear long sleeves. Depends on where they live. Some are more conservative than others. It's like a teacher dress. It's something that's very conservative but still kind of pretty. Reminds me of like Laura Ashley. So I'll probably sell this for about $75.
All right.
This dress I picked up when I was with Dana when we went thrifting at Deseret. I paid $5. Look at this thing. So it has pockets, and it's like this tweed jumper type of dress with a V-neck. It is Anna Sui. I don't think you're even going to be able to see this one, but it's maybe if you focus on it.
You got it.
Yep. You got it. So I paid $5 for this. I think I'll probably sell this one. I haven't looked it up yet to find the model or anything, but this one will probably be about $75. It looks like these are like metal and spiky, but they're really like plastic and like just metallic, plasticky, spiky things.
Yeah. Oh man, Lori Rickson. I don't need my kids to drop. Is it Swarovski? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Swarovski.
I knocked over an $1,100 bird and broke it while photographing it.
Oh, Lori,
that's
ouch.
Painful. That's painful.
Ouch. That hurts. That hurts my heart.
My heart.
Hurts my heart. All right, and my last thing I picked up at Deseret, and I paid $8.50 for this, is, and I don't like necessarily selling men's blazers unless they're really cool Western ones with like the corduroy patches and things like that. But this one just felt really nice, and apparently this is a halfway decent brand. It's called Haspel. So it's Haspel. But it's 100% cashmere. Nice. So it's a really nice soft blazer that's cashmere, and the pockets are still fairly stitched, so it may actually be new without tags. So I'm kind of excited about that. That'll probably sell for about $75 as well.
Nice. All right.
That's it.
I've got a couple of jackets. I'm down to my last couple of things.
That's all I got.
I was at Buffalo, and I got 2 jackets there. This first one is an awesome vintage satin bomber jacket. It's got Tony here on the front.
Good old Tony.
And Tony also has his name written in the back. It says Tony M. And so this is actually some trucking company. It says Roadway, and it's Tannersville, Pennsylvania.
Tony with the Union.
Yep.
It's from Jersey.
Awesome embroidery in the back. And I don't know, what do you call this style? I don't know what you call this style of embroidery where it's like kind of, do you know what I'm talking about?
It's just looped embroidery.
Yeah. So it just looks really cool. Anyway, I love this jacket. I think I paid it was Buffalo, but I think it was less than 20. It was like 16 bucks or something like that. This is just a really cool satin bomber jacket. I love
Mm-hmm.
the whole trucking thing on the back. So I just think it's really neat. Um, Now this last thing, I really paid up a lot for this. I would have liked to have not had to pay so much for it, but it was just so pretty, and I didn't want to leave it behind. And sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do.
Sometimes you just
Um,
got to do it.
Sometimes you just gotta do it. But guys, this is a gorgeous acid washed vintage Levi's trucker jacket that's got
Made in the USA.
the faux Sherpa shearling lining. Made in the
Lined all the
USA.
way, too.
Yeah. No, not the sleeves.
Oh, not the
No, it
sleeves.
doesn't go into the sleeves. It's got that Levi's San Francisco tag right there. Made in the US. Yeah, this jacket right here. Whew, it's a size large, so it's a really good size. I should be able to sell this for, I would say, at least $150. I bet it probably ends up going on Etsy. I did pay up a lot for it. I paid $60 for it. I paid 60. Now, I paid 60, but you got to remember that when I buy stuff from Buffalo, I'm buying mainly with credit, and so
That
generally
you paid pennies for.
so generally, I'm usually doubling my money with my credit. So, I'll buy a t-shirt for $3, I'll sell it and they'll get like $6 credit.
So the reality
Or
is you probably
$2
paid
into $6 credit.
30 for it.
So yeah, so if you look at it that way, that's kind of the reason that I do that is to bring my costs down. So yeah, so I had doubled my money. And so really I was paying more like $30 for this as opposed to $60 cash. But this is such a cool jacket. It's just a really nice, just ridiculous acid
It's in great
wash.
shape.
It's in excellent condition. It's a really good size.
Super 80s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
as Dana says, damn, Gina, $60.
yeah, $60. But but I definitely would have paid 30 for this all day too. So yeah, $150 is my plan. That's my goal.
Well, here's the thing: if you look at it as you actually paid 30 out of pocket, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. And again, that's why I said that's why I do the whole I buy stuff to flip at Buffalo because I want to bring those costs down, and it allows me to buy a lot more stuff, like really good vintage stuff that I'm not going to find every day. Because that's the thing about going to Buffalo is that I can go to Savers every week and I'll find some good stuff, but I'm not always going to find like home run stuff. But I know that when I go to Buffalo, I know every single week I'm going to find at least a couple of pieces that I'm really, really excited about. I got that the Republican National Convention t-shirt there. I got that jacket there and a bunch of other t-shirts and the trucking jacket. So it's like I know that I'm going to find really good pieces there every single week without fail because it's such good curated vintage.
And most flippers don't want to pay up. That's the other
exactly.
thing. They're hoping to get that $10 thing that'll sell for $100, where you're willing to pay 20 or 30 for 100 or
well, and that's part of I talk about how that's really part of like kind of honing your craft when you get to the point where you're a lot better at kind of knowing what sells and how much you can sell it for beyond just having to look up comps. It really gives you a lot more freedom to be able to pay up for certain items because okay, I'm going to pay $20 for this t-shirt or for this jacket because I know I can sell it for 100. Whereas when you're first starting out, I know for me, when I was first starting out, like I didn't know what stuff was worth. And so it was really a crapshoot. And, I had a certain amount of instinct and I did learn very quickly, but I started at the bins and so I was paying 99 cents a pound. So I could afford to
cheap education.
I could afford to test things out and figure out what was worth what, but it just makes it a lot easier when you go shopping.
Mel, the sports gal, says, is there a pack of Reds, like Marlboro Reds in the pocket? 10% boost right there. No kidding, right? It's true.
Anyway, that was actually kind of a short show.
I know, for us,
I don't know what happened. Did we talk fast? What happened, guys? I feel like we didn't have a lot of questions.
We had comments, but not a lot of questions.
That's true.
So that's I guess people are either not quite. We're either explaining really well, so there are no questions.
I like to think that's maybe the case.
I think that's it.
But you know what? We made it through the show. With this new software. So at the very least, the people that are currently watching live, they got to have a regular show. Hopefully the sound was good, the video was good. And so we'll see how it goes when I take us off the air, if it actually saves to YouTube and all that stuff. But it's weird having to use like this other software and not really knowing how it works.
We're trying to get used to it, but Well, she's trying to get used to it. I'm trying to get used to where
The
the camera
backwards.
is because it's backwards and it's not in the same spot and
Well,
it's
because like,
weird to me.
because I can flip.
No, don't
What's that?
don't mess with it while we're
I
live.
can do whatever I want. You can't stop me.
Ay.
Yeah, what do you think you're trying to do? Telling me what to do. Telling me what to do.
Mhm.
All right. Any questions, you guys? Does anybody have any reseller questions? Any
Any
thoughts?
closing questions?
Because we can give you another 10 minutes here if anybody wants to ask anything, or if they feel like we missed something. So Marjorie says, closest Buffalo Exchange is 3 hours from me. Is it worth the drive? I would say
I
okay.
wouldn't.
So I would say I wouldn't go just for the Buffalo Exchange, but if there's a Buffalo Exchange, then I'm going to assume there's other thrift stores because Buffalo Exchanges are only in populated areas.
True.
So I would not go 3 hours just to go to the Buffalo Exchange, but I would go 3 hours to hit a whole bunch of thrift stores and everything that was around that Buffalo Exchange. And then I would also go to the Buffalo Exchange because if you are that close to one of those, and that means it's a big population center and there should be a lot of other places that you don't normally hit. So definitely worth taking the weekend or doing like a day trip, leaving early in the morning, hitting as many stores as possible because it's basically about making sure that you're using your time as wisely as possible. So get up early, figure out which store you want to go to first, what time they open, get there early, leave home early enough that you get there right when that first one opens, and spend the whole day going to every single thrift store in that area, plus the Buffalo Exchange, and absolutely it's worth it. For sure.
Okay.
What?
Nothing. I'm just
Okay.
waiting for you to stop talking.
Whatever.
So Diana asked, does Flipper Tools work on eBay anymore? It doesn't when I try. I've actually never used it to look up any eBay solds, to be honest with you. It works best for Etsy.
It
As
works for
far
my
as
software.
eBay checking prices, look into TerraPeak. TerraPeak should now be in your research bar, or should be very soon coming to your research bar. Right on your main page in Seller Hub. TerraPeak does go back a full year. The one thing that I will say is the one that if you're using it direct through eBay, it's not quite as detailed as if you go to the TerraPeak website.
Yeah.
TerraPeak website is still free. You just have to log on using your eBay ID, but it's a little bit more detailed than it is on the research bar.
Derek Yamamoto, big fish in the house. I think we're gonna see you a little bit later today.
Yep,
Derek.
we're coming to your house to help
And
to clean out your garage.
yeah, we got to get our stuff out of the garage, which we finally have finally gotten our storage unit that we've been putting off as long as possible. And so we just got that the other day. And so we're going to go today after this. I'm going to have myself something to eat. And then we're going to go. It's going to take 2 or 3 trips to move everything over to the new storage unit. And then Derek and Amber are like going out of town. So we get to take care of their little dog. Or really, I think what that really boils down to is I will be taking care of the little dog.
I can go take care of her. She's afraid of me because I almost killed her.
You did almost kill her. Anyway, she's really, really cute. She's a little
teeny tiny long-haired chihuahua.
Yeah, she's about 5 million years old.
Give or take a year.
Yep. But she's real cute. And so we're going to be popping over there every day for a few days and hanging out with her and making sure she's fed and watered and whatnot. So,
Sharon, yes, we do also have WorthPoint. We share our WorthPoint account, but we do have WorthPoint.
Yeah.
Thrifty Nickel, do you worry that Buffalo Exchange will find your YouTube channel and start raising their prices? No, because here's the thing. They could never charge the prices that Katy or I charge on our items and have a sustainable business model. It's the rare person that wants to find something that's already curated for them. The people that walk into Buffalo Exchange, the majority of the people that walk into Buffalo Exchange are looking to purchase for personal use, not for resale. And no one is going to pay $150 for a used vintage jacket at a Buffalo Exchange. The advantage that we have, and anyone has as a reseller, is you're catering to a worldwide market, and you're finding a vintage, different, interesting, or hard to find item that caters to the worldwide. A Buffalo Exchange, like any other brick and mortar store, only can rely on the business that walks in. Yeah.
Well, and so Buffalo, it's a nationwide chain. But every store is a little bit different because it depends on the population that they are around, what they buy, what they sell. But they're a for-profit store, and much like Savers and stores like that, they know they're constantly adjusting, and they know what to do to make sure that stuff is moving through quickly. And so they buy stuff, they sell it. They have a whole system set up where I don't know how long an item is there. Maybe it's there for like a month or more, and then it ends up going on sale. So every month you'll notice, like on the first, they'll go through and whatever dates it is. I don't know how they have it on their tags, but they'll go through and they'll stamp sale on tags for stuff that's been there for a certain amount of time. And for the first half of that month, it's 25% off, and for the second half of the month, it's 50% off. And then after that, it all gets sent to their outlet store, which is in Southern Arizona. And there, I think everything is just sold for $7. And so
Just
they
a
pay.
comment just says Garment Exchange says
Yep.
everything's sold for $7. That's
Yep.
where she lives.
And so let me finish real quick. And I know I'm rambling here, but
Mhm.
so they pay attention. Like they'll be like, oh, this took too long to sell, or we're having to price this particular type of thing down too much. We're either going to not buy it anymore, or we're going to buy it at a lower price. So they're constantly adjusting. They don't like stuff sitting around. So just because they see that something sells for a lot online, it doesn't really matter, because it's what sells in their store locally that matters to them and how fast it goes.
Marrakesh, what up? Plato's Closet. So for me and for Katie, I think we've both been to Plato's Closet in a couple of different states. I've been here, California, Arizona. Plato's Closet sells a lot of mid-level mall brands, as far as I'm concerned. The Abercrombie and that kind of crap. They sell more of the teenage stuff that really doesn't have a great resale value online. It may do well or on Posh, but honestly, that mid-level stuff that's at the price point of, $20, $25, I don't really have an interest in sourcing, and neither does Katie. So even the Plato's Closet dollar tag days that I've heard of, I've never gone on one of those days. But if they don't have anything that I want at full price, I'm not going to want it at $1 either.
Plato's Closet is good for shoes. So if you are somebody who likes to sell shoes, and you have one near you, you should go somewhat regularly and just see what they have, because they do buy really good shoes, and you can sometimes get some amazing deals on some shoes that might sell for a lot. But as far as like t-shirts, jackets, stuff like that, they don't do the vintage stuff like Buffalo does.
Yeah. Savers prices have definitely gone up a lot in the last several years. I think that's pretty much anywhere. Some stores I've seen some ridiculous pricing, $20, $30 on a pair of current Levi's jeans. And that I don't think is a sustainable business model. I think our store, is because we're in such a highly populated area and they get so much stuff that I think our stores, generally speaking, price pretty well. And the fact that they have a 50% off sale once a week, every week, and they've been doing that for over a year, also helps.
Yeah.
So that it clears out a lot of stuff.
Yeah. They have no reason to hang on to anything.
Right.
So,
I will say that when we went on Thursday, we went to about 4 stores. They were a little picked through, but I think that might have been some residual from eBay Open Week. There were a lot of resellers that descended on town and went to a lot of the different stores, and some stayed to thrift and work after, and some came before. And even though they replenish daily throughout the day, there's only so much they can get out there. So I do think that they were a little bit more picked over than usual.
Yeah. All right, I think that we're gonna call it a day. First successful live stream with the new software, and
Sure.
now I gotta do some shopping around and see if I can find out a solution for us to have guests on, because we're gonna be wanting to do that here soon. Listen up, guys. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us. We always love doing the Sunday show. If you're not subscribed to us, you should go ahead and do that, because we would love to have you subscribe to us, and so you get notifications when our show does go up, because we do a lot of live shows. You want to make sure that you get those notifications, so make sure you click the little bell thing. I think you have to click it twice to make sure it's actually sending you like all the notifications you're supposed to be getting. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give us a thumbs down. It's okay. We can take the criticism. We're cool. But thanks, guys. We really appreciate it, and we will see you on Wednesday. And now I'm gonna like awkwardly end the stream, because I don't even know like how long it takes for it to go off. Like with the old way, it's like I knew when I clicked it, it was like half a second. Like within half a second it would go. So let's just like stare awkwardly at the screen and see how long it takes.
All right. Bye, guys.
Oh wait, now I have to hit end. See, now it says not. Are you sure? So wait, I'm gonna don't say anything, because now we have to awkwardly stare at them. Okay, I'm gonna get in real close though, because I want to make sure that like my eyes are right in there.